You ready?
I was born ready.
I know. I should even asked. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Yuri Nazwit. I'm with the XP Realty, and today we're going to discuss a secondary suite or income suite or garden suite or tiny home on your property, just to add to the income potential. So as you can tell, I'll go through. This is the Hamilton. This is Brand. They call it additional residential suite. And here for Kitchener, is it Kitchener? Yeah, for Kitchener, they call backyard homes and tiny homes. Not to be confused with the duplexes. Duplexes are slightly different concept. Because that requires, again, proper zoning, like everything else, like even the tiny homes, everything requires the proper zoning, otherwise you can't build. Or it's not one of those things that you want to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Right.
Unless you're the city, then
What's
you can
that?
do that. Unless you're the city, then you can do that.
Yeah, maybe in that case, but let's not get political,
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's better ask for permission than forgiveness, because the first thing you're gonna see is the bylaw officer knocking on your door and say, no, you don't have a building permit, you don't have this, and you don't have that, and or you have two families living here and you only zone for one, something of those lines. And God forbid you already sign a contract with the tenants. Now you have to evict the tenants, which is impossible task. Now you're going to be non-compliant with the city. They may take you to court. It's I mean, nothing major is going to happen. Nobody going to put you to jail or something like that. Unless you do something, you build it and it buckles it and kills someone, then yes, you're going to be liable for all of those things, for sure.
But they can make you take it down. When we lived in East Hamilton,
Yeah.
in the backyard, kitty corner had an addition. You could see they were just finishing off the siding and all that, right?
Yeah.
And the next thing we saw them taking it down.
Wow.
Because
That's
they didn't have a
expensive.
building permit and somebody was ticked at them and reported them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was especially if you can't comply with the regulations. All you can do is take it down, right? If you can't comply, then sometimes people know what they're doing, and I hope anybody that's building without permission knows what they're doing, and they know that it's going to comply. It just they know they're going to shut down. But let's say somebody starts building into it. They built already the box, covered the roof, and they go, oh, city goes, we're going to shut you down because you don't have a permit. Well, by that time they probably have the building permit, all the drawings and everything prepared. So yeah, they're going to have to do an inspection. Hopefully they have the right pictures for the footing, for all of the things that are required, and they're legit, not just oh, here's the footing picture. Where'd you take that picture? Is it the other house or this house or which house? You got to tell me, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
With the day stamp, with the possibly engineer on board. If engineer says okay, then they're okay, right?
Right.
But it's like I said, it's better to do it the right way. Yes, it will likely cause delays, but it is what it is. I mean, that's part of what contributes to the high cost of houses. Here you go, So let's just go. Like I said, it's not going to be an absolutely pleasant kind of lots of information. I'll briefly, go through it, kind of what it is and what's possible, what's not possible. All of this information is available on on the internet, like the links are right above there, so it's not something, this is not my resource, so it's all available to the public. Go and learn it, memorize it, whatever you have to do. Like, I mean, I wish I had the time to memorize the building code, but it's 800 pages, so I'm not keen on that yet. So what is an additional suite or additional residential unit? It's basically, a type of dwelling that provides a secondary housing and exists close to the house or part of the house or on the property. Could be top and bottom, could be side by side. So there's all kinds of different things, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some of the, no, not in this picture, but we'll see it in another presentation. So who qualifies for the additional unit? There's all kinds of, again, I'm not going to touch on this because every municipality is slightly different. And again, if somebody's interested, please take a look. And not even if you read this, it doesn't really matter. You have to go to the city and confirm with them whether your property actually qualifies, because it could be, many little different things. Your driveway may not be wide enough. My driveway is, believe it or not, 2 inches shorter than it should be, and they go, oh, you got to get a minor variance of, like, oh my God, are you kidding me? 2 inches. I mean, I'm not gonna go there, right? So and yeah, so I'm gonna municipal services. The property must qualify for an RU if it has to be residential. Obviously, it has to be within a certain amount, a certain square footage, the property itself. Then the additional unit should not be bigger than a certain percentage of the total square footage, right? And all of this, like I said, it's very dry. We have it all here. Do we have to go through that, Ivan, or it's like to me it's really
Yeah,
bad.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Right.
To explain, I mean, we will be here for probably half a day, just going through those, and I'll lose you guys probably 20 minutes in. Let me turn into.
Sorry, Yuri, I was just going to say, when we come along Cumberland, coming home from Stony Creek, there is a garage that, how the older homes had the garages separate.
Yeah.
Especially if you were on a corner, right? Your house faces the side street, but your garage is on the tertiary. And they've got it looks beautiful anyway from the outside. They've almost made it like a little coach house. And on the West End, where they've got all those old coach houses, right?
Yeah.
All those secondary, and they're nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to show you this one. I think that's what you're talking about, kind of thing, right?
Right.
So yeah, these are the different forms of secondary dwelling units. It could be on top, could be the kind of the most common one is the basement unit, because that's what most people have. Excuse me. So and it doesn't dictate which one is which. You can use the bottom one, the basement one, as a primary unit, primary residence, and use the top one as a rental. It's up to you, whichever you decide. It could be side by side. One of my clients, we just did that right here on upper gauge, not the one that not the I was showing, but just next block to it. And that's the other one on the gauge was very similar setup as this one. Like we're talking about the side by side. Principal dwelling, if you have enough, like I said, if you have enough lot and enough parking, or big enough lot and big enough parking, you can do this as well. Again, it could be this setup, which I've seen as well, where we have a separate entrance to the second floor, and whether tenant or resident occupies the bottom and the main floor in the basement. And same thing here. So okay, why are second dwelling units important? Well, there's all kinds of different things, but mainly it's income, right?
Mhm.
Additional income provides for additional housing options. That's from the city perspective. Increase of supply of housing. It's very debatable because you go in, they preach this, and I've told that to city many times. They preach that we need housing. When you go for the permit, it's like pulling teeth. It's like, well, can you simplify the process, because you begging for the affordable housing, and yet you creating so many obstacles. It's not even funny. Again, implements provincial regulations, additional population to support services in the community. Yeah, same thing. But for the end user, that's basically a income option, right? And this might become increasingly popular because some people, well, not some people, but majority of the people probably cannot afford to go to a nursing home or a retirement home or something like that and pay 6,000, 10,000 a month, where I'm pretty sure they don't have the mortgage, but $1,000 a pension may not suffice to carry on. And if they have the funds to renovate and do this kind of type of scenario, it will bring in an additional $1,500 or something like that a month. That's a good option. And
Is there a minimum size of dwelling?
There is a maximum size. Well,
Maximum size.
Well, I shouldn't say again, it's different by municipality. I believe it's 500 square feet, but it should be 10% of the total square footage. But again, I can't remember.
So, 500 square feet?
Yeah.
That's the maximum?
That's the minimum.
Oh, the minimum. Okay, good. Woo.
Because because if the house, if 500 minimum, but again, it depends on municipalities. Some municipalities may dictate something different. So don't quote me on that, please.
Okay.
And again, depends on the house, depends on this, depends on that. But I think the minimum is 500 square feet because it's just not big, right?
Right, and only one additional unit on your property. If it's a separate structure.
Well, it depends on. I think I've showed you the Kitchener one. That's a kitchen, right? Kitchener allows kind of an interesting. Oh, this is Brent. Kitchener is ahead of the game of everybody. Yeah, this is an interesting slide I wanted to show you at some point, but since you asked about it, right? So this is what they're allowing, and this is what not allowed in Hamilton, for example. They allow in tandem parking, and I don't know why in Hamilton they say no, you can't do tandem parking. I don't know why, because it's if it's even if it's fire or something like that. Well, okay, you're gonna leave the car, the insurance is gonna pay for it. There is not that you cannot escape, right?
You can still run on foot.
Yeah, you can run on foot or something like that. But if it's an inconvenient. Well, let people decide whether it's inconvenient or not. Let them decide. If they found a home or a unit 2 minutes away from their work. And whether they're going to take 5 minutes to do a switcheroo in the morning or in at night, and still be 2 minutes away, or drive half an hour to work. Let them decide, but this is what's allowed by the city of Kitchener, but not allowed in Hamilton, as far as I know.
So the tile that I'm looking at right now, the slide I'm looking at right now, are the different forms that SDUs can take, right?
Right. So this is
Okay.
basically the main unit. This is a secondary unit, and you have to have 2 parking here, right?
Okay.
This is the
Oh, I see.
this is the property line, right?
Property
So
line.
here, another one is, that's just behind it. You have 1 parking in the garage and 1 parking outside.
So I'm not seeing what you're talking about.
We're seeing the PDF from Hamilton, secondary dwelling unit.
Oh, sorry.
brochures.
Let me stop sharing it. I think I just shared, not the screen, but hold on. Let me reshare. Do you see it now?
Oh, no, that makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, the first one was, 1 unit on the middle, 1 unit at the back, 2 parking spots over here. The other one is,
Oh, I see.
the parking is in the garage, and the second parking is outside. So you have to do a switcheroo again. But they wouldn't allow that in Hamilton, period, right? But this is a Kitchener site, so this is allowed in Kitchener. Now, here you see in Kitchener they allow again 3 units instead of a 2 unit. So you have a 2 over here, bottom, top, side, whatever, right? Second floor, whatever you name it, and they still allow it to build you a 3rd unit, build a 3rd unit, except, what's going on? I don't need that. And it allow you the 3rd unit, but you have to have access, the parking, so that someone can freely move, sort of thing, right? It has to be double driveway. Same thing here, kind of thing, right? So, but they're still allowing tandem for two cars. Here it's totally different, which is again a no for us. The permit, the permit is about $500, something like that. Depends on the municipality. 550, 522 for Kitchener. Could be less, could be more, depending on the size of the building, of the unit, and so on, right? I'm not going over these things again. Those units have to, if it's top and bottom or side by side, they have to have a fire separation, 45-minute fire separation, or an hour. Everybody's going for an hour separation. Which is basically you put fire retardant, what's
retardant.
Retardant, yeah.
Okay. That's politically correct.
I didn't want to say retarded,
One question about the parking.
Yeah.
Do they allow, like a lot of places you can park on the street, right? That's included as being okay, right?
Yes and no, because that's what the city will decide whether you can or not, right? If there is a capacity to park on a street, like in downtown Hamilton, there is no capacity to park on a street. Like you go, like on what do you call it, on a Cannon Street, right? And they all park along the Cannon. You may have a hard time converting it to duplex or triplex or whatever, right? Because there is no parking. I mean, there is no parking for the tenant, for the owners. Forget about the tenants, right? So, and so this is the difference here, which again they're showing. You have to have a double driveway, right? They will not allow like like every single picture you see there, it has double driveway. So you cannot have a single driveway and put three cars tandem,
Mm.
basically, right? So you have to have that. I mean, I don't know what's the thinking behind it, to be honest with you, but
Now, are they amenable if you're asking to take part of your front lawn? Like there's enough clearance and let you get a curb?
yes, if that's a part of the process, right? If you have enough, there's no trees or far enough from municipal line, then they may allow you to extend, like we had last year, one of my clients did the conversion. We had but a couple of feet short, so they just added the brick walkway sort of thing, and that was okay. But then they had to remove the porch, which was facing the street, and make it sideway because it was infringing on a what do you call it, on a property line, meaning like if you put your car right next to your porch, it's going to be the back of the car will be past the city line, city property,
Right.
sort of thing, right? Too close to the, I don't know. There's still another 5 feet, 6 feet to the walkway.
Not much. Okay.
What's that?
I didn't realize it was that much you needed.
Well, yeah. Well, you need to have a car to fit before the city line, right?
Right.
Am I clear? So that's basically that. Like I said, there's so many regulations there. It has to like I know all of that information I have, but I'm still working with the company or with the guys that do that from start to finish. With the it's just not worth my time, your time. It's a matter. Sometimes it's a matter of not what you know, it's who you know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I know I'm on the record, but
So are you saying that if a client purchases a home with you and you've got the vision, it can become a duplex physically, then you go with another company and together you'll make that a duplex for your client?
yeah. Well, I mean, the cost the last time I've checked was about what they do basically. They do the drawings. They make sure that everything complies with the regulations, and they go through the process. They take out the building permits. They follow the process. You can do your own construction by yourself. That's not an issue. And I don't think they even do that. I'm not 100% sure, but you can hire your own contractors. Again, I have a group that they do construction. I mean, I have my guys, but
Yeah.
right now it's a little bit the good labor is in demand. Hard to find. That's right. So from that perspective, it's well, again, I hired that company that does the drawings, does the building permit, goes through negotiations with the city, and they're charged about $4,000, something like that. Not drastic, something like that. If you go to architect, that's going to cost a lot more, right?
Yeah.
They know what's required, what's not required, and they what I like, again, if something doesn't work, if something doesn't work, I'll tell you. If it doesn't work, because I know all the parameters you have to pay attention to, the height of the basement ceiling in a basement. Have to make sure that there is enough light. You should have a wide enough driveway, and obviously and do the fire separation, that kind of stuff. So nothing nothing major, but it's still, you need to know all those like the little things.
Mhm.
And I mean, you have to have your the bare minimum, your bathroom, your kitchen or kitchenette, and then bedrooms with the window in it. And if the bedroom doesn't have a window in it, it's not a bedroom.
I thought it was a closet all the time. Here.
It's a closet. You got it. But trust me, some people have different ideas.
Really, yeah. No, but do you have to have a closet in a room as well?
Oh yeah, you have to have a closet. Yes, you have to have a closet. Yeah, you have to have a
Okay.
closet and a window. Yes, for sure.
Wow.
But like I said, some people have just a room, no closet, no window. Oh, it's a bedroom. No, it's not a bedroom. It's a storage.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, no, it's not a storage. We live here. Like, well, what do you do with it? It's not my not what I would recommend. But uh, again, what you do with it, it's your issue, right?
Yeah. Okay. I
So
didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah. So like I said here, options for secondary dwelling, use two types within a building and detached second suite, and you go from here, right? So if it's within a building, you convert, or you even purpose build construction when you have it, you build it on top, that those kind of things.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you have to meet zoning. I mean, you have to meet zoning requirements for everything, and it
Mhm.
looks like this is to be would be considered as a duplex dwelling. If you're doing construction, it makes sense to do a what do you call it? Individual services like meters and everything else for each unit. If you're just renovating, it may not be necessary. It's always a good idea, to have. But whether it permits, it's feasible from cost perspective to spend an extra $10,000, $15,000 or $20,000, right?
Is it that much to put in extra?
Well,
meters?
if you're putting gas, if you're putting electricity meters separately, it depends where it goes. If you can just extend a pipe kind of somewhere and have the meter, but you have to have the pipes going through it and everything else, right? So
Yeah.
it depends how, if you're moving from one, like we're building that house, and we have electrical panel in one corner, and we have to run the wires to all the way to the other corner. So if we had it on a middle, that would have been just I don't know, 60, 70 feet one way and 60 feet the other way, and it's fine. But now you have to run 130 meters, and that's because of that, it's going to lose not meters, feet, sorry.
I was gonna say that's a huge oath.
Yeah, well, I'm on a metric, right? So
Yeah.
and 130 feet, you lose the connection, or you lose the signal, right? The strength of the signal. So you gotta put something else in between somewhere, right?
Wow.
So again,
What about furnaces? Like if you separate to a proper duplex, how does like the gas that goes to the furnace work?
well, there is a code, and there is a good practices, right, or best practices. Where I didn't. That's Sam, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see him.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Hey, Yuri.
Okay, hi. It was Victoria. Now I see Sam. Yeah, it's still one furnace. One like for the secondary dwelling, you can have one furnace. Repeat the question again.
Well, you're saying like for a proper duplex, you're mentioning that you separate the gas meters, you separate
Right.
the electrical meters. I was kind of curious, how does that work for the furnace? Like, are you required to get two furnaces, or?
No, I mean, if your capacity of the existing, if you're not adding the square footage, right? You're just separating separating the units, it doesn't, it doesn't affect the furnace or air conditioner capacity, right? You're not increasing the square footage. You're not, changing it, right? If you're making an addition, for sure. If you're adding square footage, then you have to look at the. I mean, that's going to be part of the permit, right? They're gonna dictate what's, or the HVAC guy will tell you what kind of furnace you need and what kind of AC you need and that kind of stuff, right? So, make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Where else? Yeah, but the Kitchener seems to be a kind of a way to go, because you can put 3 units and much laxed or way laxed regulations when it comes to the parking. So, from an investment perspective, that's a good good city to be in. They're most progressive of all the cities that, as far as I know. So, and yeah, these are the things that you have to pay attention to, like minimum and maximum unit size. It's based on a percentage of the gross floor area of building. The maximum gross floor area based on size, no regulations. Yeah, you see, these are open to interpretation. So this is why I said it's important to talk to the city and find out what exactly those mean, because, like I said, your architect, your HVAC guy, your professionals may have a different idea and may not agree to what the city dictates, right? Setbacks, maximum height, maximum unit size, so on and so forth. And you have to have, again, separate entrances. That's for sure. Fire escapes, fire separation, as I mentioned before. You don't have to have like 2 entry doors to a unit, because you have an entry door and you have egress window. They're probably going to ask you to do one so you can escape through that window. In the basement, if it's a house, you can escape through regular window, right? So.
When you're putting in that fire separation, does that also work as like sound dampening as well?
Oh yeah, it does and it doesn't. Because lots of sounds escape through ducting, through there's all kinds of things, right? It's a good point though. But I mean, if the height permits and cost wise and everything, I would try to do as much as possible in that regard. But that's mostly done on a top floor. When you put in the flooring, I would put something soundproof as well, like pad soundproof. And of course, there's a soundproof drywall too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And but lots of it escapes. Like my pet peeve, I guess, is the smell when it goes through the ducting, when they start cooking bacon and curry and something else, and like everything smells like that. So that's like, okay, we're having a party. Coming up or coming down, yeah, I don't mind if I get invited, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so all of these, and like I said, this is Hamilton, right? So we're kind of a little more stringent on a parking. They want 3 parking. Like where do I find those kind of properties where we have like huge, massive driveway, right?
So even if the owners wanted to park tandem, like the principal, that's not allowed.
Well, it's you'll see it here somewhere where you can, right? So
Oh, okay. I
Right.
see. Okay,
Parking space for principal dwelling, parking space for the secondary dwelling.
okay, yeah.
Again, it's like on a very, very individual basis. Yeah, it says two and one, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't seeing the numbers
No,
properly when I
that's okay.
first
I mean,
looked.
like I said, this is not the purpose of this. Okay, if I had to explain all of this, and I have three different municipalities here, they're all more or less the same, but they have their own differences, right? And it's
Right,
important to go to those municipalities and speak to them directly, because like I mean, the Brant can mandate 4.5 meters. Kitchener could be 3 meters, and Hamilton could be 7 meters, right? So it really depends on what municipality you're in, right? The density, the need for housing. There's all kinds of factors that play into that, right? And again, I forgot to do a disclaimer. That, you have to talk to the do your own due diligence, regardless who you deal with, whether it's me or someone else, right? And I mean, we'll definitely if the building permit is issued, then it's it should be right. Okay. Unobstructed access with the 1 meter width and 2.6 height property. Entry to detached. Okay. Yes, this is this is Hamilton. Yeah, this is Hamilton. Yes, all of the, like I said, all of these. There's the regulations. That this is for the door, for the entry door, I believe so. Second value to allow a safe entry or of emergency personnel, right? So, any questions? I mean, it's there's a lot to cover, but in general, like I said, when you're looking into secondary dwelling units, the first and foremost, you're looking how much is going to generate. So before you even start the process, you want to make sure, or if it makes sense, if you get your money back, right? Let's say you put $100,000 into renovations, and can you get your money back in 10 years or 5 years, 7 years? Well, how long is it going to take you, right? So hypothetically speaking, you put $100,000 into conversion, you charge, let's say it's a two bedroom, you charge, let's say $1,600. Roughly you get $20,000 income on an annual basis, right? 20,000, that's 5 years return. It's not quite 5 years, because you still have additional. You may have tenant leaving. You have additional expenses. You also losing part of the income. If you were to rent the full house, you would get more money if you're just renting the main floor and a basement, right? So you got to consider all of those things. So I'm thinking your return would be 7 to 10 years, probably more like 10 years than anything else. Still not a bad return on my books. And your property value goes up drastically, because instead of a single family, you have a generating income. Even if the single family comes in and they have a little child on the way and that kind of stuff, and they go, oh, you know what, we may use the income right now. $1,600 doesn't going to hurt our pocket. We're going to put up with the tenant below, or they may change their mind and go downstairs and live in the basement and rent out the top floor for $2,300 or something like that, and basically their mortgage will be paid for itself. So more or less, it's not going to be enough. But well, the actual mortgage might be paid, but the property taxes and other expenses will not be paid. Will not be enough. But so
That's okay to say that you have like a $500 living expenses every month, like plus utilities.
yeah. Well, it's a good example from financial perspective. Like this house that I was talking about, the on an upper gauge that was listed for 700,000, is sold for 775. With the additional $100,000. Again, hypothetically, if you can convert it, so there's 5 bedrooms in the basement. I would minimize it. I probably would do 2 bedrooms, but a nice spacious apartment, right?
Mhm.
So with a nice 2 or maybe 3 maximum, but 2-bedroom apartment, like I said, the main and a top floor, it would rent for about $2,300 easy. The basement, because it's again spacious, probably would be 1,800. It's a basement and a main floor split, so you can have a kitchen, you can have a 1-bedroom, or actually 2 bedrooms on a main floor, and then you have a recreational area in the basement, right? So from that perspective, it's or family room, whatever you call it, right? Guest room.
Mhm.
So if you get 18 and 23, that's $4,000 a month. $4,000 will get you about $1 million mortgage. So, and it's like I said, and your cost was so. And this is what I'm saying. If it permits you to get $1 million mortgage, that's what the property is worth, more or less. I mean, that kind of stuff, right? And you only spend 717, like you spent under 900,000, so you already made 120 grand once you completed the renovations, right? Or conversion. So that's my point of view on this. If you manage to do 2 units or 3 units, like in Kitchener, 2 additional units, I should say, you're sitting on the money, as far as I'm concerned. It will again, even the additional unit, I've seen them, around $70,000 to $100,000 as well, like from scratch, right? With a foundation, with everything. So, I mean, again, 500 square feet is not a huge thing, right? So,
At what point are we going to get to, Yuri, where home builders are going to build brand new homes and they're going to price them based on your income potential? Before, a house was just based on building a house and profit, and a single family was going to move in there. But now, in order to afford a house in Toronto, you either have to be rich or you have to plan on turning it into an income property that you're going to live in a part of it. And so, my worry is, a home builder is going to build a house, but not a lot, where they can put something in the backyard and they can put, fix up the basement and all that stuff. And then they're going to price the house already over what they should normally price it at because of the potential.
They're already doing it.
Yeah, sad.
Well, let me rephrase it. They're already doing it. It's a full blown scale in the US. I've seen builders doing it, to like specific builders kind of thing. It's not, I mean, I shouldn't say full blown. It's practiced, right? And when I'm going to build my house, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to have I'll try to convert it automatically. However, be careful from the tax perspective. I would love the tax accountant to weigh in on this, because it's not going to be your primary residence, and you're going to have to pay capital gains on your tenant component.
I mean, if it's a separate structure on your property.
Not even. And I just read about it the other day, because I mean, if you invest and you have an investment property, right? This is not your primary residence, so you're paying the capital gains on it anyway.
That's right.
But if it's a permanent, if it's a primary residence, and you have the like a secondary unit, it doesn't matter if it's a basement or side or separate, that's an investment component, right? So you're gonna have to pay capital gains on that.
So you're almost better buying something that has the potential because it
Well,
becomes the
again-
primary residence. And
Again,
then,
it's not sorry, Catherine. Like in my perspective, if you pay in capital gains, Nathan can probably vouch for me. You're in a good position. So
right.
it's a good problem to have. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah, but if there's somebody like me that would be buying a home that I
Mhm.
want to become a duplex or like a rental unit with it,
Yeah,
it would still be my primary home.
it would be your primary home, but like I said, if you can like do the conversion, I don't know if they will or not, but they may go and say, hey, you were like you reporting your income, you're reporting your rental income. They know about it. It's all based on that, and then they go, well, 25 or 30% of your dwelling is the rental. So once you sell the house, we're gonna put the capital gain on that 30% of your house.
Oh, okay. I
That's
was thinking you were
brutal.
meaning beforehand. And I think I got nothing I'm selling. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So there goes your equity.
No. I mean,
It's only on the increase, right?
yes, it's on increase
okay.
minus expenses, minus you still claim your, $100,000 or something that you put towards that renovation, right? Or
Your
conversion
interest, yeah.
and interest and everything else. So it's not as, again, you can't just react on one little piece. You got to put the puzzle together and then it will make sense or will not make sense. And that this is where a decision to be made, right?
Talk about strategic planning, eh?
Well,
So who is it that you go
everything-
to, Yuri? Let's say that you have a house. You have a house, and you've always thought you can split it up. And is there a consultant that comes in? Like, what's that guy? He has that show on Home and Garden Television, McGilvery or whatever his name is, and he does the basement in-law suites or whatever. Like, are there people like that that will come in and look at it and go, you know what, you can turn this into a suite doing this and this and this, for the best bang for your buck?
You must have missed part of the meeting.
I must have, because I'm just thinking that I know that for me, we were looking at turning our basement into an income property. But wouldn't it be better if somebody actually came in and said, no, don't turn your basement into an income property, turn it into two income property, turn your basement into 2 units, or, the whole 9 yards, as opposed to if I hired a guy to renovate it, he'd just come in and renovate it.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned. When I, if I'm working with my client, and he says, yeah, I'm interested in this concept, we go in and we take a look at the property. I mean, I know, I'd say 90% of the guidelines. Your doors has to be this high, your ceiling has to be this high, your windows, you have to have a certain percentage of the light in the bedrooms, in living space, although like parking requirements, and we go in and we know that this will qualify. Well, first you have to buy it, right? If you put the condition, I need to go to the city and see if my property qualifies. In this market, you're not going to get the property.
Oh, okay.
That's just real. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the time. You have to know preliminary kind of thing. What can be done, and then afterwards you apply for the permit. You can't apply for the permit beforehand. This is not the market. Like,
Right.
Before, yeah, we could go in. We put conditional upon review of the zoning, upon review of municipal bylaws and so on and so forth. Like that's not going to happen. Like nowadays.
Mhm.
Wow.
So yes, I go in. We take a look. Okay, ideally, if the biggest thing is ceiling height and parking requirements, right? If you can meet those, you can't. It's costly in Davie to lift the house or go down, And obviously, if you don't have the land, you can't expand the driveway. If you don't have a separate entrance, that's not a big deal. It's only $12,000 or $15,000, something like that, to cut a hole in the wall and reinforce it and make an entrance, right? From the back of the property or side of the property or something like that. If there is a will, there is a way, right? And afterwards, like I said, then I hire the guy that does it, does the drawings, applies for the city permit. It just makes sense that if I had clients do it themselves, all the power to them. The difference is the guy done it in 12 days. The owner done it in 4 months. So do the math, right? So, and I'm not saying this is the reality or this is the the rule, right? There could be exceptions. You might be good. You might work for the city. It's like, yeah, that's going to be a walk in the park for me. They just do it in 3 days, right? Instead, compared to the professional, right? But those are more of exceptions than rule, right? Because the consultant that I'm working with, he knows it is like you've done over 100 houses, right? And I mean, I don't charge for it. He charges. My job is to guide you through the process, not to and find the proper individuals that will do the job, right? So and this guy is like he's done mine, and he knows his stuff. He knows what to put in that request or the permit, what they're going to be asking for. He's just troubleshoots, like he's proactive, not reactive, right? That's kind of stuff.
188 square feet is the minimum size of a dwelling in Ontario.
What's that?
188 square feet. That's tiny.
That's tiny home, right? It's
yeah. So what's the minimum size of a condo? Like I know that Catherine has a condo that's like 700 square feet. What's the minimum size?
548 square feet is mine.
Yeah, I've seen 400, something like that. Which
400 square feet.
Yeah, one of those bachelor, like a studio, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's literally what it is. It's a kitchen, toilet, and a living space, living room kind of thing, right? So.
Yeah, Sheila, nice. Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked. But but if you have a property that has a yard, it's too bad that you can't build, 5 400 square foot units and stick them back there.
Well, we work at the Hamilton is working on it.
Okay.
Hamilton is working on it. They see the other municipalities that are adapting.
Yeah.
Are adapting that strategy, and we got to jump on a bandwagon with that. And it's at the end of the day, it's the development charges or building permit charges to the city. Last year, city broke $2 billion in new building permits.
Fantastic.
So it's a great sign that we are opening up, we are building, and going the right direction. Because I think statistics were there that by 2050 we gonna have an extra 400 or 500,000 people come to Hamilton area. Well, we gotta have housing for that.
And I just finished an article. My son actually mentioned it to me. He saw it too. That they say that our population is really 800,000 right now.
Yeah, I just read that. Yeah.
Yeah, 813 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about that development on a lakefront development, right? And we're building an extra 2,000 units or 2,000 or whatever, 2,000, 3,000 people.
2,000 units, yeah.
So we're going to have at least 3,000, well, not 3,000, probably 4,000 or 5,000 people coming into that area. At least 1,500 cars going in that area.
Totally.
Where's the infrastructure? Like I know they thought of it, but And I know those
I
cars
don't-
are not going to be leaving at the
I
same
don't know
time.
how they could have thought of it because Yuri, I just don't see it happening. I'm telling you that.
I
In
know-
bottom
I
of
know it's-
John
I know
Street,
it's 7
closed, right?
What's
By
that?
you? Ivan's got a major street
Yeah,
on one of the north-south
John.
arteries.
John,
John.
yeah. John, so
So-
well, I mean, the John James Barton is going to be packed, like
Packed,
between 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's that
packed.
Discovery Drive. I don't know how they're going to go, how this is going to work. You know, they
Because
have,
they're not widening it.
but they have 3 accesses, right? Through there, right?
Right. But all of the exits are small residential streets where people park on the street, right? So
Right.
you definitely are going to have and the way that they've done the you know how they slow down traffic, they built the sidewalk out into these little things so that you can't actually pass people. You're just stuck bumper to bumper, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't know how they're going to do it, but they did expand that area. You're right next to our building that goes out by the military base.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's probably the better way to go, is to go out that way.
And that's what, Mary Street, right?
Oh no, the Mary Street is where I am. But then if you go behind the park, that park there, then you can come out the other side of the park by the Collective Arts,
Yeah, Collective Arts. Yeah.
right? They'll probably put a light there to allow people to come out, because then they're not going through the residential streets. I think that's probably where.
You're
Right.
talking about the military ship.
By
Yeah,
the Haida, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but Collective Arts is right there. So,
I mean, that's a great landmark kind of, or great.
Yeah. That's like Wellington or something.
yeah, pretty close to Wellington, right there.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So
But
I haven't
listen,
seen-
Yuri, I'm telling you, if you ever get the info, the skinny, as they say, on those units, I would do a full presentation on that.
Well, you said they open up the sales. I spoke to the builder. They're not yet.
Sorry, no. They said that they're opening up the sales office in February now. So
Yeah.
at some point, but what did they say?
What's that?
What did they say when you got?
Well, they haven't opened the sales yet. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm on it. Did you see which? I'm going to drive by, but which one is it? Is it?
It was an article. I shared it in This Great City, but I realized that, like Catherine, when I share an article, you actually have to subscribe to be able to read the bloody thing. But
Yeah.
but it's in the Spectator.
Okay.
Oh, I pay for the Spectator. Let me know and I can get those articles for you.
Yeah. So it's in there, and you can.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to the builder and see what.
And I shared it on This Great City's page on Facebook.
Okay. They got. Well, I mean, they're gonna have a first release or second release or something like that.
Who's the builder down there, Yuri?
Oh, there are 2 of them. One is Fernbrook, and the other one I can't remember.
I have a friend who just bought the condos down in Grimsby
Mhm.
on the lakeside there. Those real skinny where there's only condos looking at the lake.
Yeah.
LJM, I
Yeah.
think. it
Yeah.
was.
LGM. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was really like, he made our buildings look pretty darn good with the deficiencies that they're still working on.
Can't comment on that. Sorry.
But they do have a workout room.
Well, so do we. It's not ready yet.
Yeah, okay. They have equipment in their workout room.
I don't know if there was intention to put an equipment in there or not, but I mean, right now I'm pretty sure there's the equipment is in abundance. If you want to pick it up for cents on a dollar,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can if you put your mind to it, right?
Yeah. No, it's still off the coast of California, we're told.
What?
It's stuck in the supply chain. And as much as I don't believe our condo management, I have been ordering, talk about supply chain, sorry. I ordered defibrillators in the end of November. Yeah. They're not expected to maybe March 31st.
Yeah, I just spoke to Lisa and I had it from a different resources as well. So she's in shipping, right? So before pre-pandemic, the container cost was from China was about $4,000, $5,000, depending on what it is, right? In December, I inquired, it was $26,000. And now she's saying, well, it's not available, but if you want it, we can deliver it to you at $38,000.
Amazing.
So
Wow, it's gone up fold. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's and again, people are don't understand why is everything so expensive. That's why, because it's a war. It's economical war. I don't know exactly who's hoarding those containers. They're not disappeared. They didn't drown. They didn't, they didn't lose them. They're just hoarding those containers, and basically it's a war.
I know our READs are because of this circuit board.
Buying them.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean that's kind of, well, I mean, we can conclude the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for visiting. I hope if you have any questions, please reach out, or if you know someone that's dabbling into that. Sam, you may know a guy or two. So if you're interested, we can look into it and get things rolling.
Awesome. Thanks. That was great.
Yeah,
Part
thank
that I
you.
heard. Thank you.
Hey, don't forget you owe me a letter, Mr. Nesbitt.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Okay. Thanks, Yuri. Great
All
show.
right, Yuri. Talk to you guys later.
Bye,
Thanks a
Sam.
lot.